All right, so there's that bass sound, and I'm going to add Replika XT. There we go. So even just loading it, just a basic delay. Can do basic things like adjusting if it's triplets, time signatures. Can do dual, so it kind of ping pongs back and forth. Can individually adjust the time signature, and you can see, you know, in terms of 1 or 2 bars where the delay is actually going to be hitting. You kind of see like a physical representation on it of how you're actually affecting it. But there's a lot of different tools that you can do to replicate different delays. Like I can do a modern delay, analog, tape, vintage digital, diffusion. So. Lot. I like doing that little trick. Get little risers. But even within here, there's a bunch of different presets that you can deal with in terms of, you know, how you want your delays, if it's stuff for guitars, drums, vocals, or special effects. Let's go here, there's probably some good ones. Bigfoot. Don't know what that is. All right, that was cool. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so Bigfoot. Let's do auto drone. That's why it's auto. Don't even have to do anything. Nice. So do some like cave echoes. So it really tails off. Tsunami. Soon. But yeah, again. That's a good one. Or let's do one more just for fun. Synths and keys. Fairytale. Nice. Very cool. So on that one, there's a pitch shifter as well, which is basically it's creating that rise in pitch at the end of this. So there's tons of presets that you can choose from and just change it up a little bit after. Even with like synths and stuff, when I'm trying to write music, honestly, there's a lot of great presets out there. You know, if you don't want to necessarily just use a stock preset, just use that as a building block. You know, take a massive preset, for example, and then just start turning some knobs. And, you know, just start experimenting with stuff, and then you can start creating your own sound. You know, a lot of these have some really cool routings and, you know, just a lot of cool elements to it. So you can just take that as your foundation and then start changing it up a little bit and kind of make your own sound out of it, rather than having to necessarily design something from scratch, which, you know, it can take a lot of time. You know, for me, what's most important is getting my idea out of my head onto my computer. You know, the more time that I spend trying to figure something out or trying to find that perfect sound, you know, in my opinion, it's not necessarily time wasted, but, you know, you can lose that creative spark. So a lot of times I've had ideas where I'm like, oh, this is great. Let me go write this down. Even if my studio isn't set up properly, if it takes me 10, 15 minutes to wire up my studio and get everything ready, sometimes I lose that spark. So same idea with having my studio ready. It's just having access to these sounds quickly, and just being able to adjust stuff. But yeah, does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all? Yes.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
I had. What did we have? Yeah, we had. It was we had pancakes, strawberry whipped cream pancakes with eggs, bacon, and hash browns. It was delicious. I went to Denny's, so yeah, it was delicious. Yes.
Any plan on new stuff on iPads?
Yes.
Can you say more?
Unfortunately, not. This is being recorded, so. But yeah, there is a lot of stuff that that is in the process. I know we're doing some heavy brainstorming for some more iPad related stuff. I honestly, like, a lot of people are already starting to use iPads, from the mobile side of things. Like, I love using from wow, I'm blanking right now. Reason. There's that synth Thor. There's that great one that they have it for the iPad. I love designing sounds with that and then just transferring that over. I mean, right now we're working on iMachine 2. And what's fun with that, though, is, again, I can have all my projects, create beats, use stuff on the airplane, and then I can literally just email myself the project, or even send a text message with the project to somebody else that has iMachine, and then they can open it up on their phone or move it to a computer. So really just mobile music making on here is great. And if you have it's the 6S, 7. So whatever one starts having the touch sensitivity, like the 3D touch, you can even do that now with with iMachine as well. So you can, if you have note repeat on, the harder or softer you press on it, you actually can get velocity out of your phone, it's pretty crazy. Never thought you'd actually be able to do that, but yeah, now you can. So it's honestly, I sketch a lot of beats out on flights, or literally on my lunch break or something. Just come up with an idea, and if I like it, just email myself the project, and then I can open it up when I get home. I have a lot of the same sounds. I can just sample myself from my phone. I can say form if I want again, and turn it into some playable keys, and save it, move it to the computer, and still have those same samples. So it's a very powerful tool. Yes?
It'd be like a stupid question, but
No such thing.
the ease in which you move through a lot of the synths with your keyboard, that's pretty much because it's also native instruments in terms of pre-mapped knobs, and you don't really get that with other keyboards. It's the ability to move through complete control and massive.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely sped up my workflow. Most importantly, finding my sound was huge. Instead of going through all these presets and finding something that maybe kind of sounded what I was looking for, but not quite. Now if I just tag stuff, maybe I filter out most of them, and I'm left with 10 presets that I can use as exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, and honestly, the mapping is huge. Having the knobs, and generally there is it's kind of uniform between certain synths. Like if you go from Monarch or Massive, really the first 8 elements that you're controlling, it's pretty much the same on both of them. So you have really the key first, the 8 most important things you might want to have access over. Certain instruments like Massive, honestly though, there's 16 pages worth of stuff that you can tweak from. So for the really fine-tuning, I mean, sometimes I'll do it with the keyboard, but sometimes it's quicker just to do it with my mouse. But really just for quick sound sculpting, I just go for the first page and start mapping stuff. But even third-party stuff like what's this guy, Rob Pappin, he makes a bunch of different synths. his NKS mapping, that's 46 pages. So that's a little confusing. So something like that, it might be a little bit quicker to deal with. But yeah, it's definitely sped up my workflow. Because I was using just like an M Audio keyboard for a while. I'd play my set. You'd basically just be doing this a lot of the time. Playing, tweaking. If I can just play here and tweak, it's a lot easier. Just again, it's that idea of focusing more on the music as opposed to being buried in, your software. You still have to do it at certain points, but creatively, it's quick just to deal with it here.